back to those two geeks. He's Alex. I'm Joe, and today we're going to talk about something, as my co-host had put, that we haven't touched upon in a hot minute. And hey, what better time to talk about it? It's the Christmas season. We're going to
That,
talk
that
toys.
that's a fantastic segue. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah,
Yeah, hey,
it has
I always think
been
of all angles.
all
You know,
angles. Yeah, it's been. I feel like it's been a couple of
it's been a
months since we've
it's
talked
been a
toys,
good while. It's been a good
and
while.
it's also been a lot longer than that since we talked Marvel Legends,
Oh
because I
yeah,
feel I feel like it's been a while since we've had any news that got you and I excited, at least, about Legends.
yeah, absolutely. So just to preface, we are talking about the Marvel Legends live stream that Hasbro did yesterday on December 6th. And they were talking and revealing some new product. And it's been a while since they've done this kind of a stream where it's just been banger after banger after banger, just whack, whack, whack. And
Mm.
it was really exciting to see. It's been long overdue too. So yeah, I mean, we'll just get right into it. They talked about the new Spider-Man retro wave that is going to be going up for pre-order next week. And basically, I've been cherry picking with Marvel, especially if they're not builder figure waves. And I'm like, I'll probably get one or two of whatever these is. No, I'm pretty much in for all of them. Just about all of them. They're just fantastic reveals.
I think this is one of those things where we're avoiding talking about the main figure
Yeah,
that
yeah.
we desperately want,
We'll
which is,
talk to him last.
yeah, I was going to do it first because it's just one of those things. But
Okay, let's go do it first. You know
okay,
what?
it's you and I have been waiting, and he has been on our wish list for
Over 8 years.
long
Over 8 years.
longer than I can possibly imagine.
Yeah.
We are finally getting a Clone Saga Kane.
I couldn't fucking believe it. I'm like, they're not gonna do it. They tease you
There's
every
no
time,
Yeah,
and
there's no way that we're going to see Clone Saga Kane show up, and Clone
yeah.
Saga Kane showed up.
Hey, he was like the second reveal, I think, or maybe he might have been the third. He wasn't the last reveal, that's for damn sure, for the wave. But man, it was as soon as they said, and we all know that on this channel, I'm a big fan of David Display's model behavior. I love the Brits. I give my
Hmm.
Brits love. And watching his live stream reaction was fucking amazing. Because if anyone likes Kane more than us, it's that guy.
Yeah,
And he like squealed. He couldn't believe it. And it was funny too, because they did like a little segue between each reveal. And like when they said he's a clone, everyone just kind of like it was that
took a breath.
WWE moment where you wait for the music to
Yep.
hit, and it was just like, holy shit, no way. And I was like, who else could they possibly do if it was a clone? They could have threw a swerve and did Ben Riley as the Jackal, which would have pissed so many people. That would have
It
been funny if they
That would
did
have
that.
been hilarious.
I would have bought it. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie.
absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong, it would have been hilarious, and I probably would have still picked it up. Or even if they did a reissue of Scarlet Spider Kane, I would have still picked it up. It
Yeah,
would have been
same.
hilarious, but it's not the one that you're looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah. Because Marvel Legends is so succinct at giving you the version you don't want to
Yep.
lead you to the version you do want. But nah, the straight out the gate, no frills, you know, no rope a dope. They gave you Kane. Straight up, you know, Clone Saga Kane. They gave it right
Yep.
fucking to you. And that was
Right
pretty
there.
impressive. I gotta say, I was pretty shocked. He looks good too. He looks
He
really
looks
good.
really good. Like, he looks better than I was expecting him to look. To be
Same,
totally honest with
same.
you.
I was expecting some reuse. The only thing is, I have to go back and watch it a little bit, but like I thought Kane would probably deserve a little bit of a bigger body, but at the same
Mm.
time, he still looks right. From what I
It,
saw him in proportion with the rest of the wave, I'm like, nah, you can get away with it because he's not a Venom-sized character. He's just slightly bigger than Peter
a
Parker.
little
So
bit bigger, yeah. No, I think it makes sense. I think that size body makes sense for him. It Would I
yeah,
prefer him bigger? Absolutely, but
yeah, a little bit bigger.
I'm not going to nitpick and
Yeah,
say I need this, I need this. Like, at the
right.
end of the day, I think that the fact we're getting a Clone Saga Kane is
Exactly.
fantastic.
trumps everything. And the
Would
other
it?
thing is, yeah,
I would say, would he be better on like the cable body? Absolutely.
that was the body I was thinking of. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
like
that was the
cable would
buff
have
I
been
was thinking of.
fantastic, but I'll take the one that he's on, right? Like
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with that buck, and ultimately there's a couple of different versions of or he depictions in the comics where he's of varying
Yeah,
different sizes. So
it depends on the artist depiction usually. Like,
exactly.
Venom is the same way. He seems to switch shapes and
Yep.
sizes depending on who's drawing him and whatever the story calls for. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But I loved this figure, and people are like, "Oh, he didn't come with accessories." It's fucking Kane. What accessories does he need? He just needs fists and an extra pair of hands. Could they have done one glowing hand, like one translucent hand for like the mark of Kane? Sure. That would have
Sure.
been like really the only thing I could have seen. But this is one of those rare opportunities with the figure that I didn't mind the plastic cape on it because it's
No.
technically more like a shawl. It's not a cape. And also this
Yeah,
has flex to it, so you can flex it up, flex it
and
down.
it's also not super long, right? Like I find the
Exactly.
issue with plastic capes isn't that they're plastic, it's that they're too long and they inhibit any kind of posing. Like, look at
Yeah.
Mysterio's cape. You can't do anything with Mysterio beyond him standing still.
No, you
The,
can't.
the stock cape for Moon Knight, you can't do anything with that
Right.
beyond him standing still. Same thing
Or
for
throw them on a flight stand.
Thor.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Like for the most part, these guys, like you can't do anything with them other than
Mhm.
just having them stand there.
Right, and that's the issue. If you want to have a statuette, it's a cool visual because let's face it, with a sculpted cape with plastic, you can do much more detail, much more
Yep.
deco. It looks great. We all know that I am a cloth cape kind of
Hmm.
guy. I prefer soft goods on all my action figures if I can. But yeah, no. So I just basically said, okay, this is the time where they're using the plastic, deco
Yeah.
right. This is where it should be because really it would be a detriment to try to do it in. I think Kane would look kind of goofy in a Marvel Legends with a soft goods shawl. I think he would look a little, I don't know, it would look a little weird. So this is the time I'm cool with it. I'm very, very cool.
I
But
agree.
yeah, so I mean honestly, we were gonna do our wish list. My wish list just got knocked down significantly. Like
Okay,
this is
so
like
I
the end
looking at
almost.
the yeah, looking at the two waves that came out, and we'll obviously talk about the
Oh
figures
yeah.
individually. But Kane, Chameleon,
Yeah.
Marrow,
Yeah.
Ultimate Wolverine,
Yeah.
and Ultimate Nightcrawler are immediately off my list.
Yeah.
Fabian Cortez was off my list,
Yeah.
and the Age of Apocalypse Gambit was also off
Yeah.
my list.
Both of our lists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's the list that I had ready for when we were going to talk about it. I've got to
It,
completely rejig at this
we're
point.
gonna have to rejig it, and that's fine. We'll take, a
I'm,
week
I'm,
or
I'm.
two to rejig
This
it.
isn't. I mean, this isn't a bad thing to have to rejig. But then you've
No,
also got
it's
like
great.
the 77 Spider-Man on there.
I never had that on my list. I did not have that on my bingo card. I'll tell you that.
No,
That,
same. It wasn't
but
on
I'm
my
not mad at it.
list. No, it wasn't on my list. But I'm happy it's there because again, it's one more Spider-Man for the people that love that level of thing. You've got the
Yeah,
Savage Land Xavier. Now that I think is a Target exclusive.
that is a Target exclusive, and I'm excited for that. So I will be hunting that for you. I will be hunting
Perfect.
that for you.
Perfect. And then I think there was a Walmart exclusive too. But like
There was a Walmart exclusive. That's the 77 Spider-Man.
that's it. And then
Yeah.
you've also got the uh, Amazing Spider-Man Lizard.
Yes. And my God. So I mean we're jumping all over the place.
Oh,
We're not going in order at
all
all.
over. No, not at
Um
all.
the Spider-Man No Way Home lizard looks phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like import quality with the deco and the shading and the just the paint detail they put into it. And they nailed that sculpt on both faces, like just
Yep.
crushed it. I'm haven't really collected a lot of MCU stuff. Like I don't know. I'm a 616 guy when it comes to action figures. And I need this lizard. I
So
definitely want this lizard to go with my Andrew with the lab coat. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm
like
I'm I'm getting it.
I'm not getting it, but
Oh,
I
I
can
am.
appreciate how good it looks. Like I'm there's very limited 6-1 non
Yeah.
comic based stuff that I'll get. Like I
Yep.
try to draw the line at MCU for the most part. I think I've got one or two Captain Carter
Yeah.
maybe,
Believe it or
but
not, I didn't get Doc Ock or the Goblin from
yeah,
this series, and I'm going to get both of them because now they're almost so dirt cheap. It's like a crime not to get them.
right,
So it's like, but the Lizard, I'm not going to take that chance because he looks like
yeah,
one of those figures that's very niche, and because it's also a Target exclusive, he's not going to go like up on Amazon and be cheap.
no, exactly. I think all of my MCU figures are either Wolverine,
Hmm.
uh, or yeah, primarily Wolverine. I think I've got like 4 of them,
Do you have the
maybe.
Hugh Jackman Deadpool Wolverine?
The one with the yellow suit, yes.
You
I
already
just
have it.
happened to
Okay.
I somehow found it in a shop, but like I wasn't expecting to look to find it.
Hmm.
But other than that, like
I'm
I don't have
starting
the
to find him
first
in
one, but
stores, and I don't have him yet. I'm waiting on Big Bad
it's
Toy Store to ship mine, and it's like there as late as behind as they could be.
yeah, which is unusual for them.
They've been like
I
that the
guess
past year or so.
I guess technically Howard the Duck is an MCU figure.
Yeah, he is.
So all right, so I got 4 or 5 of them, and I would happily get a couple of the MCU Spider-Man. I just never really found them, and I didn't really care enough to hunt them that
Hmm.
badly.
Yeah, and like for me, I have the Toby and I have the Andrew.
Yeah.
I sold my Peter and my like I sold my Tom Holland
Hmm.
because they just haven't nailed Tom Holland for me yet.
Yeah. I think they've nailed the Tom Holland as a cartoon look.
Yes, but they haven't nailed him in like regular.
Yeah.
He's just got that vacant stare. Andrew, they crushed,
Hmm.
and Toby, they did a really good job too. So those are sufficient. And let's face it, of the No Way Home stuff, that was what everyone wanted was the Andrew and the Toby
Yep.
because it's the stuff that you haven't had forever. You know,
I
but
so going back to the waves and slightly being all over the place.
yeah.
I really want the Cyclops
Oh, so do
just
I.
for the optic blast. Like I don't care about the costume in any
I
way,
love the
shape, or form.
costume because does
But
that mean we're getting Marvel Girl
I
in
think
that
we've already got
costume?
probably.
And of course, Brady makes an appearance.
Eh.
We couldn't go. We just couldn't go without him making an appearance.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I want the Cyclops because the optic blast looks fucking insane. Like this is what I'm talking about. They're making new updated
Hmm.
versions of power effects that
Yeah.
are something that we haven't seen, and that's what we've sorely been needing is updates. Marvel
Yep.
Legends has to learn to change with the time a little bit. They change something and then they stick with it until they run it into the ground is what they seem to do,
Exactly.
and that's the
I'm
thing that sucks.
I'm deeply curious whether Ultimate Wolverine will be as tall as he should be.
I want that Ultimate Wolverine so bad.
Yeah.
That is one of the figures I've been wanting for a while, but now that you've wet my ultimate palette, I want an Ultimate Magneto. I
Mm,
want an ultimate. I want the Ultimate Team now.
yeah.
I do.
I so if this Ultimate Wolverine isn't the size that he should, because Ultimate Wolverine is 6 foot something, he's almost a
Yeah,
foot
he's
taller than
tall.
regular Wolverine. So if
Right.
this guy isn't the same size, I'm going to be kind of annoyed. Like this is one of those cases where reusing that Wolverine body isn't a
Isn't
good
gonna
idea.
work.
It's not going to work.
And you know what? I think. Well, they have him in a crouch, so I can't really tell.
Exactly. That's what
I do kind of think he's the same size Wolverine. You're right.
I think he is too, and I think ironically enough, that's an issue for me, is that he's not tall enough.
You are like the easiest going guy when it comes to collecting, and this time you're like in the
Nope.
sand. You're like, no fucking way. This is
Yeah,
wrong.
looking at the size of him in the box, he's not the right size.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But
God
who could
damn
they
it.
have used?
I mean, you could have used one of the Vulcan buck.
Yeah, that would have made sense, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so then that could happen. I mean, who knows? I
It
don't know. They might have.
they
They
might they may adjust it, but
yeah,
I'm
it
not
might.
holding out hope.
Yeah, I'm not holding hope either. But those are also not going up for probably about 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Marvel Legends says way into 2025, which means February. Because way
Pretty
in for
much.
them is they live in hyper time, always in the future.
Yep.
So
But the builder figure being Nemesis is fantastic.
I'm not familiar with that version.
I think I just like the look of him. I think he's fantastic.
He looks awesome.
I know he's an Age of Apocalypse villain, but this looks more like an MCU version of the character to me.
No, it's the 616 version of him.
Okay.
I
Okay.
guess so finally stump the X factor,
I
for you.
yeah, I clearly don't have enough familiarity with Nemesis in the first place. It took me a
They
while
said
to real.
he's the new version of Nemesis from the 616.
Okay, that would do it.
And I didn't even know he was in the 616. Also, on the same token, I didn't notice that. Well, I didn't know offhand because I've never read Uncanny X Force,
Mm.
and I need to. It's been on my list for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You've been telling me.
Yeah, it's really good.
The Nightcrawler from there is from AOA.
Yep,
So what happened to Kurt in our world?
he was. That was when he was dead.
Mm.
It's a different. It's Nightcrawler, like for the most part, but this is a Nightcrawler that's happy to murder people.
Yeah. He's sinister.
Yeah,
He's like a demented elf.
pretty much. Yeah, like he's very much a case of I'm not the same guy that you knew.
Yeah.
But he fits in with the AOA or with X Force really well.
So it's kind of like the Old Man Logan riff, where like
That's a great shout. That's exactly what it is.
yeah. I love when you say great shout. That's awesome. Because I watch Cultaholic so much, but they're like, oh, that's a great shout. That's a great shout. Like, you guys have the best lingo. You guys have the hands down best lingo on the earth. And every time I hear something, I'm like, oh my God, I hear Alex say that.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh yeah.
funny. But yeah, no. So, first of all, I'm going to get that Nightcrawler because the design looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I like the tattoo over the eye, and I like the gray. I'm a sucker for like
That
that gray
gray look.
tone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that means that we're clearly going to be getting Ultimate X Force figures, I'm sure.
Honestly, you only need
Archangel,
Archangel, and there's a couple of others that
Psylocke,
were
right?
Psylocke. We have.
Oh yeah.
We have Psylocke. I'm trying to remember who I have.
We have Wolverine because he's the first one with the good claws.
Yeah. We have Phantom X. You
Yeah.
have a Deadpool, but I imagine that'll get re-released.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would also need there's a couple of other like smaller side characters that you would probably want as well, like two or three others, and I can't think of their name.
Okay.
But for the most part, that team is nearing completion. Yeah, because you have, I mean, you're gonna get Warpath again, and I think they've revealed another X-23. So
that Warpath was great.
Yeah, like with those two alone, I think is the X-Force version. There's two different versions of the same team with most of the very similar characters on it. So I think those two will finish one version, and then the additional version with Deadpool and such, will be finished very soon, shortly thereafter as well.
So just so we cover the whole wave, let's go back to Spider-Man. So we've got Kane, which both of us are getting. The only question is, like, he's so good, it's like, do I want one in the card and one on off card? It's one of those situations. Okay, so we got Kane. We've also got the 77 Spider-Man that's coming from the Nicholas Hammond old, I was going to say cartoon, but no, live action.
It's the live action, yeah.
And I love how they gave him like a shoelace for the to recreate the webbing.
I know. It's so good.
It's so accurate, The only thing is, like, I never realized how much of a similarity there is between this and the Japanese Spider-Man.
Oh,
it's
very much.
Ton of similarity.
Yeah.
Like, because I looked at it when they first revealed it before they said 77, and I said, oh, they're reissuing the Japanese Spider-Man. But I think the difference is up in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes are they're a different shape for the US. So I think that's cool. I'm on board for this. I do want it. I just, it's one of those representations. And also the Japanese Spider-Man, when they did it, was very orange in tone for some reason. This one seems like they course corrected and it's the right deco. But after this, We're getting Francine Fry, who is Electro, but she's Electro 2, or you could call her Electra, I guess, but that's already been taken. Surprisingly enough, I'm not the super craziest about this character, period, but the figure looks pretty good. I gotta
The,
say, I
the
love the
figure
figure.
looks fantastic.
Yeah,
It, I think this one's going to go really well because of the effects on it.
that's exactly what it is. And Electro Max Dillon has yellow lightning, and Francine
Yeah.
Fry has blue lightning.
Yep.
So for the people who are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this and put it on my Electro," you could, but you'd be comic inaccurate. You'd be
Yeah.
totally comic inaccurate,
But you could
and
also get that and put it on Storm.
right, exactly.
So
So
I think
yeah,
that's where a lot of people are going to see it. It will be that kind of thing where she's
so I'm
picked up
for
primarily
her.
for the accessories. Yeah.
I'm for her, but the biggie one for a lot of people was, and surprisingly not me, and I'm a huge animated series guy. I love the Spider-Man animated series. Now I'm definitely picking him up, but we're getting animated Chameleon. And another Brit, Dan Who, went ballistic. Like all the Brits rejoiced for this stream. Like everyone was so happy, including you. Like as soon as Kane was revealed, I messaged you immediately.
I
I
was
was
like,
like, "Oh
oh
my
hell yeah.
god!" So you're getting him, and he's a perfect recreation of what you saw in the animated series. Like
Yeah.
he's perfect in every way, and he just looks so good. I'm gonna say I'm just a slight disappointed myself. I am probably one of the rare ones. I would have loved a traditional Ditko smoking jacket
Yeah.
chameleon. I would have fucking loved that.
And I get that. I think that
He's coming. I think he's coming.
I think he's coming, and I think the reason they didn't do that is that they're clearly doing the animated series
Yeah.
reissues at the moment. I mean, look at Doc Ock. Like that to me is a brilliant Doc Ock, and
Yep.
they did the animated Vulture as well. I
Yeah, the
think
animated
for them,
vulture looks so good. Yeah.
yeah, like I think this is clearly they're doing the animated run or characters that will fit into it. Like you've got, uh, if you look at the cards, you've got Chameleon,
Yep.
the Spider-Man Unlimited, and Kane are all on the same card back,
Yeah.
and then Agent Venom, Spider-Boy, and Electro 2 are on
There's only
the newer
three
version of it.
figures from the animated series that I want done, and I don't need any more animated figures. Only three. I do have to pick up Aunt May. I haven't picked her up yet,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll have to pick up Aunt May and Doc Ock. I gotta find them, but only three. I want Felicia Hardy Black Cat. So I want a Black Cat with an unmasked Felicia Hardy head, or I want a Felicia Hardy in her whole human form without
Right, yeah,
because I love that look. Two, I want the Punisher from the cartoon. I love that blue gray with the long overcoat and the bandana. I've always dug that look. I think that'd be so fucking cool. And then third, this is the biggest one for me. And if they re-release what they've already released, I'll be so pissed because it'll be so egregious. I want a proper Spider-Man animated series Hobgoblin with a proper Hobgoblin sculpted face
yeah.
that looks like the show with the purple cape on the inside. I want that, or the pink. I want that. That is a must. Before they close out this animated line for good, I need that proper Hobgoblin.
Yeah. I like the fact that we're so in the weeds of figures that we're getting now that we want. I want a reissue of this cat figure, but
I know, and
half an inch taller.
it's truly a good problem to have. Marvel Legends, I was thinking this the other day. Of all the toy lines that exist currently, I would say Marvel Legends is the greatest toy line of all time
Hmm.
because while not every single release is perfect or not every single release is even something you want, it's something for everyone. It's stand the test of time with longevity. They go places that you would not go in any other toy line. No one else is giving you a HasLab other than something from Hasbro.
Yeah,
No one else is like McFarlane isn't giving you that gigantic, size action figure. Like we're not getting a Spectre that's 3 feet tall. We're not getting, certain things. Nowhere else is giving it to you. And Hasbro is going to eventually, if they continue with the license, and there's a rumor they may not have it, there's a rumor McFarlane may lose it too. There's all these licenses up for grabs in 2025 some point. Um, Nowhere else is going to give you this complete universe, world spanning building collection other than somewhere from Hasbro, which also does Black Series and all this. Mar
Agreed.
These are the only guys you're gonna get. Like Mafex, yes, they make superior figures. Like I'm looking at the cap, I'm looking at that Wolverine, the CT Toys Wolverine, which is just the Mafex one. That is the most stunning figure, man. It is so damn impressive how good it is. You're not going to get that from Marvel Legends, but what you'll get is like 25 other figures that surround it and build out your world. So while Mafex, you'll get one figure that you really, really want, then you're going to wait like years to even complete a team on Mafex. Now, Marvel, we joke that Hasbro takes a while to complete teams. We'll triple that with Mafex. You know what I mean? It's just not
Yep.
going to happen.
And
So,
we've been looking ultimately since 2012. We've been waiting to complete the Uncanny X-Force run. We've had
yeah.
in that time we've had two versions of the same Wolverine.
Yep.
We're gonna get two versions of X-23 of
Yep.
Warpath,
Yep.
and we've had Deadpool. I think there's been two versions of Deadpool, of the
Yep.
grey Deadpool. We've had two. No, we've had, but like of all the other ones we've had, it has been a long time
Yeah.
waiting for that team. It's been more than 10 years since we first saw it. I would
Yeah.
say by the time it's all released, it'll be 15 years that we've been waiting for
And
that
that's what
team.
I'm saying. You're talking half a childhood,
Yeah.
like to
Oh,
get
and the
something
rest.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. So like Marvel has my heart. These three guys work so hard.
Hmm.
You know, I once again I'll say it's in the parameters of like they work so hard, but they don't make the choices. They're not ultimately the ones who give the green lights. They have to sell this shit to their bosses and make reasonings for it. And some of these are tough. Like, you know, a Spider-Man 77. I'm sure that wasn't easy to get off the ground. Like the Japanese one did better than expected, so that's probably made it a little easier.
Yeah.
But certain figures, you know, like the Beyonder. Beyonder is much needed for everyone's collection, but at the same time, it's a guy in a disco suit. Like it's really not something that is going to fly off shelves with kids. You know what I
I,
mean? It's something that's going to fly
on,
off with us.
I think honestly at this point we've got to acknowledge the fact that kids aren't buying this stuff,
They're not. There's no way.
right?
I would
Like
love to see the metrics because kids
I
probably buy 10% of the Marvel product.
ten it
Probably,
yeah.
if
I would
that.
say if they're buying Marvel Legends, they're not buying anywhere near as much as adult collectors. I would say
No,
adult
God, no.
collectors would easily cover 60 to
Right.
75% of the market at least.
And that's the
And
thing. If I'm Hasbro, I don't get why these big wigs, like we can armchair quarterback this bullshit, but I don't
oh,
get why they aren't going, huh? I haven't seen a kid in Target buy this stuff in a long, long, long time. Maybe we should just cater straight to the adult collector because McFarlane basically does that.
yep.
McFarlane is catering to adult collectors at this point. So, you know, it's like, yeah, kids aren't buying this shit. But on to the next figure. The next one is we'll go with the one that was revealed first, Spider Boy. He would be the newest Marvel character. You know what? In figure form, he looks pretty fucking cool. I forget his name. If you want to look up his identity, it's Bailey something. But I keep calling this guy Beetle Bailey, and it's like, no, that's a
It's
cartoon.
80 something.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's Bailey with another B. Is it Bailey Brown? Is it Bailey? Uh, I don't know. It's an alliteration thing with Marvel, so it's two B's. But if you could look up like who he is, because it's been driving me crazy.
Uh,
It's Bailey
it's three B's. It's Bailey Bartholomew Briggs.
Briggs. There we go. Bailey
Yeah.
Bartholomew Briggs. Okay, the ultimate alliteration.
Yeah.
So I've only read a handful of, I'll maybe say two issues with Spider Boy, and he has an interesting power. Instead of the spider sense, he has more like a premonition sense that things are going to come to pass. He also, according to that second head, has like an animalistic side or an arachnid side that comes out where like he grows extra eyes and he gets fangs and stuff. I'm not quite sure what does that. All I know is that he is supposedly the forgotten sidekick of Spider-Man for like 10 years that no one noticed. And that's where it bothered me so much. Dan Slott created this guy, and I give him credit for creating a cool looking character. It's very cool. But the fact that no one would remember this as Spider-Man's sidekick is just so weird. I know it's a Doctor Strange mind whammy thing that was happening,
Yeah.
but still, it's so stupid. I'm just like, come on. The character, these kind of forced characters don't always work. Like Miles was the last good organic character, I feel. Miles was a superstar. Like the way they went about making him was perfect. He just felt like a real living, breathing character. Like,
Hmm.
he had the
Yeah.
heritage, he had the ethnicity, and it was accurate to what the stories being told were. It was just, it felt like Dicko Spidey, but for a new era in 2012. Bailey Briggs is just kind of like shoehorned in there. He's got a cool costume though. I dig the costume. I like the colors. I like the gold lenses, like Amazing Spider-Man #1 with Andrew Garfield. I love those gold lenses.
Yeah.
So I, I'm picking him up just for the fact that he just looks cool. I don't have a real attachment to this kid, and it's just not one of my favorite characters. But as far as a figure goes, he looks pretty neat, I have to say.
He's very toyetic.
Extremely toyetic, yeah. He looks like one of those toys that you would see in like the cheaper Hasbro line,
Yes.
like
Yes, he does.
whatever yeah. So he is like the perfect kid fodder toy. Like that is a toy that I could see a 7-year-old being like, Mom, I want." You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because the bright popping colors and the simplicity of the design, he just looks like something that, a parent's not gonna mind buying and just great. Maybe the Fang face might bother them a little, but whatever. There's so much worse that's on the shelves. So, I think he's like, if anything, I'll see the metrics on what the kids buy on this figure.
Yeah.
Because on
I
the
would be
flip
curious
side
too, honestly.
I don't see as many adult collectors going after this one.
It's ironic you say that, but I'm looking at it thinking, yeah, I don't really. It's a nice figure. It's not one I particularly need.
Right, exactly.
Like
And
it's a, the character's going to be 9 or 10 years old, and I have
yeah,
no attachment to the character. Like if I'm
right.
not really that interested in Spider-Man Unlimited, I'm not going to be interested in Spider-Boy
Ah,
unless I can find Spider-Boy for like $10.
right.
It's staying on the shelf.
So let's just go there now. You broke it. Spider-Man Unlimited. This is a must buy for me. I have to get this. Even though I hate the fucking show. This show is god awful. I don't know what they were thinking with this show on Fox. It is brutally bad. Um, I need this figure. I love this design. I've always dug this costume. It is such a cool fucking costume. It's like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 put together is kind of what it looks like.
Yeah, it does. It does,
It
and it's a cool looking design. I just have no
it is.
attachment to the that
Well,
version of the character.
it's funny if you remember if you ever watched the cartoon. The first issue, the first cartoon faked you out. It had the original Spider-Man theme song and it had everything like the same. And then as you got 10 minutes into the episode, everything flipped on its head and then it's like
Mm.
all brand new. And then it just went downhill. The first 10 minutes are fine. And then when he goes into outer space and all that shit, it's just like, no. And then the redesigns of like the Green Goblin and crap. Oh God, with the High Evolutionary.
Okay, give
So
me
bad. All right,
what?
so we did Spider Boy. We did Spider-Man Unlimited. I want it. It's a good figure to have. Very toy very toyetic as well. And I know that was
Spider-Man
the thing.
Unlimited is the one that I am more likely to get
Really?
out of that and Spider-Boy. Like
Okay.
if I had to list the ones that I was most likely to get
Yeah, for
in
sure.
the order of that
Want.
wave,
Yeah.
it would be Kane, Chameleon, Agent Venom.
Mm, ding. Let's bring it right to Agent Venom. So I am very excited for this figure. One, mostly want him for the unmasked Flash Thompson head
Yes.
because I'm going to be getting the CT Toys Agent Anti Venom. I love the white look on Agent Venom the most.
Hmm.
Like that's my favorite version of it. And I just love Flash Thompson as a hero. I never thought I would like Flash Thompson as a hero, but that's how well they did the the Agent Venom story. Like they made Flash Thompson. He was he's a veteran. He served, and then they made him be part of the symbiote process, which has just been fantastic. And I'm a big fan of it. This figure is worlds better than the one they released before.
Oh,
And
unbelievably so.
they even said that it was based off old concept design when they first released that figure. So that's the that's the snake that bites Marvel Legends once in a while is they'll jump. They like to get product out so fast that they do it based off of preliminary designs a lot of time, and it doesn't come out right. Like people are like, "Oh, that isn't right. The figure didn't come out the way we wanted." Well, they've got to put this shit into, I they say up to 11 to 18 months. I don't believe that. If you do the time frame, it makes no sense because sometimes figures come out so much quicker. I'd say they need a good 7 months though, lead time to start
Agreed.
getting
And
figures out.
I think it also depends on how much they already got in place that can be there for reuse. Like they can probably
Yeah,
get certain
exactly.
Spider-Men done really quickly if they're just
Yeah,
using the
exactly.
same body. Like
Exactly.
like Chasm, they were able to get it's just
Yeah,
a flat repaint of everything, right?
right. But this is great. It's got the Flash Thompson head is fucking amazing.
Hmm.
That's the reason why a lot of people bought the Vulture Spider-Man 2-pack was that Flash Thompson unmasked animated head because they wanted to throw that on their Agent Venoms.
Yep.
A lot of people did that. Now, you don't need to. You have an Agent Venom. And people are saying, "Oh, he doesn't come with the tendrils." No, this is the much more sleek version of him. And I like it without the tendrils, to be honest with you. I like the stealthy, covert version of Venom that looks like a stormtrooper. Not a stormtrooper, but just looks like some kind of like Black Ops guy going around with a Venom deco. I fucking love this design. I love this story. I love everything about this. The only thing is, I wish like I'm the reverse Christian Bale right now in Batman Begins, where he's like, "Does it come in black?" I'm like, "Does it come in white?" Like that's what I want. Like that's
I
what I want so bad.
I think it will. I think it's a matter of time
Yeah.
before they reverse the colors because you're not going to use that design and
No.
then hey, we can just flip it and do it in white.
Well, yeah, and exactly, and it's also like that's such a with the um the pauldrons and like the beetle like spikes and all that shit. It's really kind of a one trick pony. So if you're gonna color wave it, it makes perfect sense. You get
Absolutely,
Venom
yeah.
in pink, purple, Starburst, whatever. As long as they have a reason for it, they're gonna use it. But he comes with guns. Something that I just find hilarious that Disney will allow you to come with as many guns as you want, but Warner Brothers is like, "Don't you dare give them anything unless it's a pocket knife, like or a
It's
flashlight." Like they're
it's
all mall
so
security at Warner
it's
Brothers,
so
and then
funny because if you look
so
at the guns,
stupid.
like they're also very much like fantasy-esque
They
guns.
are. They are. They're like Nerfs.
And
Most of the time, they're
yeah,
based off of their Nerf guns.
absolutely. And that's fine. Like I don't mind that. It is what it is, right? Like you can
Yeah,
get there are some figures that have more authentic looking weapons.
GI Joe.
Yeah, I don't that doesn't bother me. Like that's not the kind of thing that I'm gonna
No,
refuse to buy a figure over is the weaponry. It
no,
that
but I just
it is what it is. Like
I
that's
just think it's so stupid that
agree
Batman's villains have to carry a flashlight and a pocket knife.
agreed.
Like it's just fucking dumb because
Yep.
all his villains are gangsters of some sort. But so that's Venom looks great. He's a must buy. The top two obviously are Kane and Agent Venom for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Did we leave anyone out of that wave?
No,
Feel
because we
like we
talked
covered
about
them.
Electro first.
Yep. She was the only villain, right?
Chameleon.
Oh, Chameleon. Yep. So Chameleon, we talked about him. Yep. So we carried everybody.
Yeah.
We got everybody. So I'm stoked with that wave. It's a 5 out of 6 minimum for me to pick up,
Yeah.
and the last one is Spider
Yeah.
Boy, whether I
Oh,
decide.
I'll put it this way: if that wave was a builder figure wave, I'd buy every single one.
Oh, so would I, a hundred
Right?
percent.
Like I don't. There isn't anything about Spider Boy or
Yeah,
Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man Unlimited that I don't like. It's
yeah,
just
exactly.
in terms of priorities of spending money,
Yeah,
they're
of
not as
course.
high as some of the other ones that are on there. Now,
Right.
will I? The reason I would be more likely to get Ultimate Spider-Man versus Spider-Boy is purely the Spider-Verse shelf that I've been slacking on.
Yeah, and
That's it.
here's the thing, like, I like the retro concept so much better than the Build-A-Figure concept.
Hmm.
I know it's kinda stupid, but I love the nostalgic cards. I love, like, the even the newer version cards. I love that blister packaging retro style card. I dig it, and I like the idea that I don't have to grab every fucking character in the wave just
Hmm.
to create, a Build-A-Figure that I truly want. And I think the Build a Figure concept, they said it's coming back, and it is obviously with the wave we're talking. about next. But it's going to be a very sparingly used concept, I feel. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as prevalent. But I will say this: we're going to go with X-Men. And when they talked about this being a Build-A-Figure wave, and right after Kane was revealed, my heart went from elation to nervousness and sank a bit until they got the words out of their mouth because I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, it's an X-Men Build-A-Figure wave." I'm like, "It's obviously coming down the line." And all of a sudden they were like, "This is a character that a lot of people have been wanting, and it's a special design." And like when Dan was not Dan, when what's his name? Ryan Ting was holding it under the table and he's like, "It's got heft to it." I'm like, "Oh no." I'm like, "Oh
Oh
no."
no.
Like the way he's holding it, I'm just picturing this bug grotesque brood creature popping up and I'm like, "This is the day. Is today the day where this is going to be the worst stream of my life?" And we'll get the build to figure out of the way. They revealed it as Nemesis Enforcer. I mean, not Nemesis Enforcer, as Nemesis, the artist formerly known as Holocaust.
Yeah.
Which Holocaust is such a better figure, but better name, I gotta say. However, I understand why they can't have that on toy shelves, and I understand why it's an insensitive. You know,
Yeah,
I
it's.
get
I
it.
think. I think in terms of getting a reaction within the comics, it's
Yeah,
fine to use it, but I think
exactly.
as it gets to a broader audience, it's probably wiser to
I
switch
would
to
just rather
Nemesis.
his name be changed to like Armageddon or something. I don't know, something
Armageddon,
on the
Armageddon,
Holocaust.
yeah, Armageddon would have been, I
Fine.
think, yeah, a much better name than Nemesis.
I hate Nemesis. Nemesis just sounds so bland.
Yeah.
You're my nemesis. Are you talking about me? No, I'm talking about him. Oh, okay. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like it's just it's one of those stupid things. But I will say this. He is a very cool design.
Hmm.
He doesn't look as good as the original Holocaust. I love that Joe Mad design with the
Yeah.
bright orange and the crackling and like just like I don't know, it's that anime-esque. Um, I just love that design. I'm thinking Mafex is going to give us the old school Nemesis slash Holocaust. I think they're going to give it to us. I do.
I think my issue with the name Nemesis 2 is also because there's a video game, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. Remember that?
Yeah, you can have a nemesis, so like it could
Yep.
be anybody. It's a very lame name. You
Hmm.
could have named him, Armageddon. You could have named him
Armageddon would have. Yep.
something even better than that. Just something that has menace to it, like world-ending destruction or some
I
kind of.
think Armageddon is the name that they would have wanted to have gone with. I would have thought.
Fuck, you could have just named him Hellfire. I mean, you could have just,
Yeah.
it just there's so
Hmm.
many better names than Nemesis. But anyways, this isn't the AOA Age of Apocalypse Nemesis. This is a new 616 version that I am not familiar with. I'm definitely not familiar, so I'm going to try to familiarize myself. But I will say this, on the whole, if I've never had any type of attachment or knowledge of these prior stories, I just look at this and go, that's a fucking cool action figure.
Yeah.
He's a flaming skull in a glass um, helmet with a huge ass gun and big armor. Like
Hmm.
he just looks really rad. He really does. And it's like, okay, I'm not angry about this. So this one, I think we'll go through the figures one by one, but I think I'm going to complete this figure. So we'll start off with the figure that was revealed. I'm all in for this guy. They did skimp on the deco a little bit. He does look a little plasticky. I'm just hoping he's not as bad as the AOA Cyclops in hand. But Gambit, I love AOA Gambit. I love that design. I think Mafex is going to give us that too. And that will be
Hmm.
the superior. But oh my God, I love Remy's character look in this miniseries. I think it's just so cool in that
Oh, he's
world.
so good looking in that one.
Yeah, it's so dope. But I'll get the Marvel Legends. This is where I don't like the flex plastic. This doesn't work as well as Kane. I think this should have been soft goods.
Agreed.
I don't like the flex plastic on him. It's inhibitive of somebody who's Gambit and who is very, acrobatic and aerial and all that. Like, I don't know. I don't dig it. I don't dig that, but I will get the figure because I love that figure. I love that character. And I'm a Gambit. I'm a sucker for Gambit. So, you know how long I've been waiting for this? So I had to I'm going to get him. But next up, is one that now I know right out the gate. Now I know for sure that the rumors are true, that we're getting Marvel versus Capcom series because we got Marrow. And
Yeah.
we got her in her Marvel versus Capcom look. She's very cartoony, Joe Mad,
Hmm.
inspired from the video game. She's not very. She doesn't look like she fits perfectly in with your 616. She looks like you fudge her, but she looks
Yeah,
more at home in like its own wave.
I love
And
the fact that they're doing the Capcom versus Marvel figures, but they're doing them within other ways without actually addressing the fact that this is what they're
yeah,
doing. I think that's fantastic.
I just love what's it called? I freaking love that we're getting more MVC stuff. Makes me hope that we're getting a blue Venom. I think we're gonna get a blue Venom, like an all blue Deco Venom.
I think so.
I think that would be fantastic. Um, but so this is one I want. I like the character of Marrow. I'm not the biggest fan of her, but I like her. I like her better than I like what's it called? What was the other guy that you like? He comes with the worms.
Oh,
Maggot.
Maggot. Yeah.
I like her much better than I like Maggot. I think she's a much more rich character for me. But so I'm gonna grab her. I'm in for her. I'm totally down for this Cyclops though. This Cyclops looks phenomenal. I've always liked the classic John Byrne X Factor early X-Men version of Cyclops with the hood. Yes, I like the Jim Lee Cyclops. He's easily the most iconic and recognizable of all Cyclops looks. But I've always preferred this Phoenix Saga style look. Now it's the wrong colors because he's in. No, is it the right colors for the Phoenix Saga? It is.
Yeah, I think it is.
But the big X is on him, and that wasn't
Yeah.
in the Phoenix Saga. This is clearly an X Factor figure.
Oh, it's definitely X Factor.
But I love it. I absolutely love it. And the one thing I also like too is they rectified their mistake. You're getting two heads without an octave blast attached to it. Like
Hmm.
when they did the X Factor, if you remember the second head had like the energy coming out of the sides of the mask
Yep.
for his powered down look. You didn't have a regular powered down Cyclops look. So
Yeah,
they're
I
rectifying that.
really enjoyed the energy from the side of the head, but
Yeah.
I understand that that's not everyone's preference when it comes to
No, I like
Cyclops.
it. It was nice, but you should have included a base
Yeah.
version because sometimes you just want these guys sitting around like talking heads.
Yep.
What's Cyclops so angry for while we're playing cards? You know what I mean? He's cooking ramen. Why is he so pissed off? Like it just doesn't fit the aesthetic. But yes, I'm 100% in for him. He's also pinless. He's on a great buck. I like it. I think this is where Marvel is starting to hit its stride. Now I need a Marvel girl so bad to be the companion to this. And I don't care if I get the green with the yellow or I get the red with the yellow. I don't care if I get ketchup and mustard or relish and, mustard. I just want one of those to go with this Cyclops so bad. I also like how they did this because originally people thought this was going to be a straight up release of that two-pack Dark Phoenix saga Cyclops. And I like how they did this because this doesn't give the big fuck you to those collectors who actually have that two pack and it still makes
Agreed.
it worth it. Yes, is it like Dark Phoenix accurate? No, it's not. But it's enough that I could fudge it in a Dark Phoenix display and I wouldn't be really fussed about
Yeah.
it. But I love this figure. I think he might be my favorite out of the wave. I just think he looks so good. And let's talk about that optic blast. Somebody at Marvel was like, dude, let's give him a really powerful blast that looks good
Yeah, like
instead of like a piece of licorice, not
yeah,
licorice, or a piece of like
Twizzler.
Twizzler or taffy that's like
Yeah.
solidified.
I like don't get me wrong, that optic blast is what's selling it for me.
It is, yeah. But can you remove that?
I think so. If you look at there's
Yeah, because
a
how would
box
you put it
shot.
in the package? Yeah.
Yeah, there's a box shot where it's along the side, so I would assume that's
Where would
yeah.
you put that optic blast? Because I'm assuming you don't want this Cyclops, so are you trying to put it on another Cyclops?
That's my hope is that it would work on another Cyclops. I can't imagine why they would do it how it wouldn't work, but
Which Cyclops has an open visor besides the X Factor one?
the animated Cyclops.
What?
The
It
yeah,
does?
Yeah, the 97 Cyclops has an open visor.
Oh, not the VHS one. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Ooh, that would look so good on that Cyclops.
Yep.
That would be badass. Okay, all right, I smell you. I'm for it. But yeah, this one's a definite buy. And then who is next? It was yeah, I'll let you take the X-Men wave.
I think I'm not. I don't know what order they revealed them in, but
I don't
we've
either.
already touched on the Wolverine. I'm obviously gonna get it. I'm just a bit sour
Same.
that it's not the
Yeah.
right size.
Yep.
Um,
Marrow,
Marrow,
Cyclops,
Nightcrawler we've touched on, Fabian
Nightcrawler. We talked about.
Cortez.
Fabio Cortez is one we haven't touched on.
Yeah, I would
We.
again. I'll pick him up. Um,
I'm not crazy about him. He looks plasticky too. Now I
agreed.
want the acolytes. I do want
Yeah,
the acolytes, but
I'm picking it
I
up
want a
for
cloth
that
cape.
reason more than anything.
I want a cloth cape.
And then you have Fabian Cortez. I'm not again. I don't think it does not need to be said about him. It's an acolyte
No.
character. It's
Yeah.
D-list at best villain. So I'm kind of
D-list
excited we're
villain.
getting him because he's been
Yeah.
on my list for a while.
Yeah.
Um, and then we've talked about Gambit, and then finally you got Husk, which I am surprised
Husk, I'm
that
surprised that. Yeah.
yeah, I'm surprised that they're. I'm not surprised they're doing Husk. I'm surprised they're doing her in a way that the powers actually work on a figure.
I know. They put thought into it.
Yeah, so I'm happy for that. I think that's fantastic. I'll probably like if I'm going for the wave, I'll pick her up, but not because I need her, because I
Not
want
because you
the
want her. You need her to complete Nemesis.
yeah.
Yeah, I
And I
get it.
think honestly, it's not because I don't want her. I think she's a good figure. I just don't want to get roped into doing Gen X as well.
Well, who do they have for Gen X? They have Chamber. They
Yeah,
have
they have M. I think is out.
yeah, and they have what's her name? Monica, no, not Monica. Monet.
Monet. Yeah,
Yeah, so they have
yeah,
Monet.
yeah.
So they have Monet and they have what, Siren?
Oh, they're doing another one of those, so aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So who do they need? They need Jubes in the Gen X, they need Siren, they need oh, they have somebody else besides Chamber for the guys too, don't they?
I don't know if they do. I'm doing a quick Google. And I think they've
I'm
only
not the
got
biggest on Gen X. I'll be honest with you. When they first came out, I grabbed like the first couple issues because I'm a Jubilee guy. It just didn't really set my world on fire. And it had
yeah,
Chris Bachalo art at that time. And I like Chris Bachalo, but it was just like too weird and out there. He's
yeah.
kind of like a Steve Scrose. That artwork is very, very specific. And so I just was never big on it. I never liked the characters that much. Like Monet didn't do anything for me. Jubilee was cool. I liked Chamber. I think Chamber was like the only one I liked besides Siren. I didn't really care about Husk. And then there's a big guy. He's gray, right?
Mondo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mondo was like everybody in the 90s had a Mondo.
yeah.
Like everyone, like Bad Rock for the Young Bloods. You had what's his name for the Wildcats, the big green guy. I mean, big purple guy with green. You had Thing. You had Hulk. Like everyone had a big Mondo styles guy.
Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. I
I think
love the
you've only
90s.
got. I think you've only got Chamber and Monet St. Croix
I think you're right.
uh,
I think you're right.
as the Gen X figures so far.
Yeah. Now I like the 90s so much, but Gen X was one of those
Yeah,
concepts that just didn't hit for me. It was just like, I don't know. It's just two 90s. Like it's just like everything. This was the same. So yeah, I'm probably gonna complete the wave because I do want the Nemesis figure, but it'll be begrudgingly. It's not like the Spider-Man wave where like even without a build a figure, I want like almost all of them. It just
yeah.
this one was kind of like spotty all over the place. I want that Wolverine because he's one of my most wanted Wolverines, to be honest. But now that you like said it, I'm gonna be focused on the fucking height now, and it's gonna bother me, and
Yeah,
that sucks.
it honestly that's the kind of figure that would be great if it was almost like if McFar or Marvel selected a version of it, that would probably scale well with the
Yeah,
Marvel Legends version, just for the. But again, like it's such a. We've said it before, and we'll say it again. That kind of thing is so minor when it
yeah,
comes to the grand scale of the toy. Like being, we said it with Kane, right? Like being upset that Kane isn't quite as big as we want. we're getting a
Right.
Kane figure, whatever. The only caveat to that with when it comes to Wolverine is that Wolverine's going to sell regardless. So
A
you
hundred
could have,
percent.
right? You could have put a little bit more effort into making him that specific version the right size,
Yeah,
unless it's designed to be. I think there was a version of that costume in Uncanny X-Men for a time.
that's what I'm wondering too.
So
Is
if
it
that's
truly Ultimate? What is it listed as?
just Wolverine,
Because they have packaging, right?
yeah, it's just listed as Wolverine on the box. So again, like if that's the case, if it's that version of the character, it's such a minor difference that, fine, whatever. It is what it
Yeah,
is. So
right,
again, like I'm still picking it up. There's no reason not to grab that. It's a
right.
simple reuse for the wave. Same as I mean, Wolverine and Nightcrawler are complete reuses.
Yeah,
Like even right down to the head sculpt, I think for Wolverine.
you're still a
It's like
Wolverine fanboy that like
yeah, like when it
you
when it
gotta
comes
grab
down to
it.
it, there's a ton of reuse for the wave. All of it makes complete sense.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm all for that. So we've covered the waves, and this has gone on a little longer than we usually would do, but
Oh shit,
it's
yeah,
just nice to be talking toys
yeah.
again. Like it really is. So they did what I thought was cool was they did their obligatory tease at the end of the stream for like what's coming next. And I think it was a cool idea how all three of them had a tease this time
What was
instead
the
of just
tease?
one.
'Cause I couldn't find anything about the tease anywhere.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what? I lied. I've just found it.
Okay.
So
So the
there's a
first tease is a staff.
yep.
And I saw this right off the bat, and I know exactly who it is, and I'm super excited for it. Do
Okay,
you know who it is?
I have no idea.
It's classic Adam Warlock from Infinity War.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm so fucking you know,
Yeah,
absolutely exasperated. I'm not exasperated, ecstatic
excited.
over it.
Yeah.
Ecstatic, yeah. It was an X word. Um, so then the second one is a web. Now it's Spider-Man related, clearly, but it's a web. But the position they have the web in, do you see it?
Yeah, it's going down, right?
Yeah. Do you have an idea what it is?
No,
I
I mean,
didn't know, but somebody brought it up. It
okay,
makes
okay.
perfect sense. And also, we just talked about it on this stream, a character that I hope they make.
Other than Venom, I'm not.
Yeah, Blue Venom.
Oh, right.
Because
Okay.
in Marvel versus Capcom, he did the web thing where he would shoot it down and it would like pick you up. And it would be like one of his moves.
Interesting. That would be cool
So
if that's the
I
case.
think it has to be that. Otherwise, it could be any Spider Man ever.
It's
Like
either
ever.
that's just it. It's either a wishful thinking on our part that they're
I
doing the
think it's
blue
that.
Venom already, or it's some generic Spider-Man. I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we do want that.
No, I think it's they're doing the blue Venom and they're going to take the Walmart Venom
Yeah,
and paint him blue.
that move, which is easy to do.
And you have my Walmart Venom, right?
Yes.
Oh man, I'm so excited for that thing. I can't find that fucker anywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're going to paint him blue. That's what I
Mhm.
think they're going to do. Because we're definitely getting Marvel versus Capcom. It is almost undeniable at this point because rectangular has said it. Dave displays model behaviors. Inside guy has said it, and the fact that we're getting Marrow, and they alluded to it like when they revealed her, and they said, and we'll probably be getting more characters to go with her specifically from a medium that you guys like. And they're like,
Yeah.
why even go through and mention that? You know what I mean? If you're not
Yeah.
getting
Like
them,
they clearly can't explain it because they probably don't have the license for it. But
yeah.
that's very much what they're doing.
But my
I
question is, are we just going to get Marvel from Marvel versus Capcom? Or are they
yeah,
going to be able
because
to have the balls and like do some Capcom characters?
no, because they probably don't have the licenses for it.
Right.
Unless they can
So
get the Capcom license, but I think that's why you're getting the jaded Street Fighter
Jada,
toys that
yep.
scale so
Well with
brilliantly with
yeah.
Marvel Legends.
By the way, do you have Guile yet?
No, I haven't. I didn't even know he was out.
Okay. Cammy's on the way soon, but Guile, I'll grab our Guiles. We need
Okay,
Guile.
cool. Yeah,
Guile's
if
a must have.
oh, agreed.
And I need Bison too. I think I'm gonna get the blue Bison though. For
Yeah,
some reason that blue Bison speaks to me, that player two
the blue
Bison. I
that
don't know.
that player two Bison's so cool.
Yeah. So, anyways, I know it sounds like you have to wrap up, but like, so there's that, and then the third tease, I have zero fucking clue what it is.
I
It's
think
this
that I
jag.
think yeah, I think that is the Archangel.
That's what everyone's saying. How, okay, listen, from that tiny little thing of jagged plastic, how do you get Archangel out of that?
Because
Please.
Archangel was use his wings to shoot feathers,
Okay.
and that looks like the design of him shooting feathers.
Okay, that's what everyone is saying. Like everyone, like I knew Adam Warlock right away. That shows where my
Yeah,
mental base is. I was like, oh, Adam Warlock, ding ding. And then the next one, I was like, a Spider-Man character, no fucking clue until somebody said Venom, and I said, oh, that
yeah.
makes perfect sense. They showed this third thing, and I'm like, is this a piece of a broken figure? I'm like, what the hell is that? And everyone was
It's
like, Archangel, and I was like, what?
yeah, it's either Archangel or it could be someone that throws knives.
Okay, so who for Archangel would it be? The X-Force Archangel?
I think so. I think it would have to be X-Force Archangel because if that's already been heavily rumored, I think
Okay.
Dave Gisperi's model behavior is called that one as well.
Would that work with a re-release of the old deluxe Archangel too, or is it because of the colors?
I I think it's gonna be. I think if they're gonna do it, they're gonna change. So. They're obviously gonna redo it based on the new Archangel body that they've got,
Yeah.
or the Angel body that they've got. So I think I would not be surprised if they redid new wings for it,
Okay.
because if you're gonna redo the body, you might as well redo the wings. And it's been a long time since that original Archangel came out.
Okay.
So if you're going to redo the wings, at that point you may as well have it in such a way that they can detach, or clearly
Yeah.
they're shooting something like that out. So I would be surprised if they don't use this, if that's not for Archangel.
Okay.
I expect it's a hint of a lot more of a um, new figure
Yeah.
for it,
Okay.
new tooling. But I would that's my thought, is that it's for Archangel.
I just thought that was pretty interesting because I'm just sitting there going, hmm. Like it wasn't as like vague as when they displayed the rock that one time and it's a fucking rock and no one knew what it was for like 2 weeks.
And then
This
someone's
like
like, "Oh, hey, that's from the Sentinel."
yeah, but everyone got the raw. I mean, everyone got these like within instantaneous release
Yeah,
of the information. So I'm all for that. What this makes me mean is now I have to, if I'm gonna get this Nightcrawler, I'm gonna have to go backtrack and get X Force Wolverine, which means I'm gonna have to get X Force Deadpool, and then I'm gonna have to get this Archangel, and eventually that X Force Psylocke. Now there's only Psylocke, Wolverine, Archangel, Deadpool, Nightcrawler, and Phantom X for this team, right?
so far, yeah.
No, no, no. Is that the team in the comic? Is that the only
Oh,
team members?
I'll have to double check because my memory's not great with it, and it's been a while since I've read it. But
Yeah,
there's
I think.
I think the Uncanny, or the regular X Force version of this team had.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, Warpath.
yeah. So there was Warpath. Um, I'm literally pulling this out, basing it on the front cover of
That's fine. But
the
I'm
trade.
guessing
So,
it would be the Uncanny X Force is what we're getting. It looks like
so you have Domino,
Domino.
Wolverine. Uh, is it Warpath, or it's Ryan Sinclair? I think is who it is.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got Ryan Sinclair,
Hmm.
Warpath, X-23,
Hmm.
and
Oh, X-23.
that,
Okay, so it's a
yeah,
bigger
and
team than I
Domino.
thought. There's like 9 of them.
Oh yeah, and then you've also got the ones from the Uncanny X-Force, which
Yeah.
you've got Deathlock. Um,
Oh yeah. And that
so
gray scheme.
yeah, Deathlock, Deadpool, Psylocke, Wolverine, Phantom X, and
Right.
Archangel. Um,
They've already released that.
they've released Deathlock, yeah.
They've released, I think, X-23
Yep,
in
they're
that
doing a
scheme.
re-release with Warpath for
Yeah,
that too.
right. Okay. So I need a Phantom X. I had him a while ago, but I wasn't
Yeah,
crazy about that figure.
the re-release 2-pack with Psylocke is worth looking into. That one's really good.
Okay. All right. I will definitely look into that. So I mean that covers all the toys. like I said, we're gonna rejig our lists because we want to be able to come up with, well, stuff that they haven't made yet. And I'll be
Yeah,
honest, now I'm scratching. Now I'm
right.
really like, if they quit and close the Marvel Legends doors tomorrow, I'd be very okay. I'd be like, you know what? I got pretty close to what I wanted for everything. It's not a
And I
tragedy.
and I think that's the thing is that I've got to really think about if they closed it down tomorrow, what figures
Yeah.
do I still need?
Like, I would just list a few right now. I'll just list a few off my head, like,
Yep.
let's say 10. These aren't gonna necessarily be on my list, but, like, if I was to have a list right now and you were like, gun to your head, Mole Man I'd want a Mole Man with a Moloid updated. I would want a Sue Storm in her, Malice costume from the '90s. I just love that. I want her. For X-Men, I really got just about everything I want because everything else will bring us closer to what I don't want. So I'm pretty happy with that. Spider-Man, we've got the Jackal, he's serviceable. So I don't really need a new Jackal. I'd want a '90s Clone Saga Jackal
Mm,
with the jacket. I would take that. I'd want Carrion from Maximum Carnage, 100%. He's needed. Um, a Cyber Hobgoblin. And like I said, you can tell I'm just like scraping. I'd want a green Cersei from Avengers.
yep.
Um, for Deadpool, I mean not for Deadpool. I'm thinking for like just going through franchises.
So I
Yeah,
would
I'm really like stuck.
so I there's a couple that I really want still.
Hmm.
One of them is I want a Maverick from the Solo series that he
Oh
had.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
that costume.
And Albert and LCD.
Albert and LCD.
Yeah,
And
that's one I want
honestly,
too.
after that, I'd have to really like I'd be looking, oh, maybe I can get some Maverick villains, right? Like you're really
Yeah,
starting to not scrape the barrel, but you're digging really deep. You're
you're
going
having to
beyond,
think about it. Yeah,
yeah, you're going beyond the D list is into the like significantly further down into characters that may have only appeared a handful of times in a
yeah.
handful of comics. And
Because with this stream, they knocked out major wants for me. They
yeah.
knocked out Kane #1. They knocked out, Ultimate Wolverine, even though it might not be Ultimate Wolverine. They knocked out Gambit from AOA, which
Hmm.
is one I only wanted them. I'm like, if they close out AOA, please just do Gambit, and they did. And then they teased Adam Warlock, which was my
Yeah.
second biggest want besides Kane.
And
Because I'm
and
like,
that's
oh
just
shit,
it. Like
now I've got it.
at this point, I'm like, well, I really want the Scarlet Spider Kane on a Renew Your Vows body, but
Right? Yeah.
that's so far into the weeds of reissues that I would almost, if I'm doing my list, I wouldn't include that because it's so specific.
Yeah,
I
I'd
would,
want a single retro carded Colossus. I would love that.
yeah, yeah, because we haven't had a single like a deluxe Colossus or anything in a while, other than the one with Juggernaut.
Right. And then the other, let me see, the other want I would want, the other want I would want is, I'm just trying to think. I had it in my head and the cat meowed and I lost it. Damn it, Roscoe. I just lost it with the shrieking. Um, Frig, I lost it. It's not there now. Yeah, well, that's it. I guess I don't want it that bad because the cat knocked it
Hey,
out of my head.
if Roscoe's confusing you that much, then
Yeah, it's time to wrap up anyway. But no, I mean this was a good stream. I'm glad because it's like, first of all, I'm always down to talk toys, and it's
always,
nice to talk toys in something that's not HasLab or negative, and it's a great thing to see. Oh, I'd want an Agent Annie Venom, but like you said, that's like, oh, I want it in white, but I also want it in black. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Where Marvel has given us everything, and
I
then to
think
be honest, I can't
uh,
think of HasLabs that I really want other than
no,
a Daily Bugle. I would love. I would love like a redo of that animated series Daily Bugle, but do it for 616. I think that would be so
yeah,
cool. Um, a fantastic car I'd want, or my #1 want of all time, but I don't think they'll make it because it would cost $1,000. Is an X-Men Blackbird. I just don't think they can do it cost effectively.
No, I agree. It's one of those things that I would love it, but I would have
Yeah,
nowhere for it. It would be a 6 foot thing,
yeah.
right? Like there's no way I would be able to put that would
It
be
would be my new coffee table.
basically you would have to get a glass coffee table and just have it underneath, or use
Yeah,
a
you
display
would.
case as a coffee table, right? Like
Yeah,
it's just
you'd have
it
to.
wouldn't be feasible for so many
But
reasons.
I'd have it. If it comes out, I'll get it. I'll find a reason to justify it. I don't care. Like it's just so spectacular.
Yeah.
They're like, how can you not have the Blackbird? And I would just have the X-Men theme song on repeat all the time, just to
No, no, no.
like as soon as you walk in.
Yeah. Welcome to my X-Men room.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have. Really good stream. We'll rejig the list. I'm gonna
Oh,
be hard pressed to come up with 10. I'll
I,
probably do better with 5.
honestly, I'm gonna. That's just it. Like, if I had to do 10, there would be a lot of the
Yeah.
ridiculous color variation things.
So how about
So
this? We'll make the rule right now. We'll do 5. Actually, no. Let's make it a wave. We'll do 6.
no,
But it doesn't have to be a builder figure. Let's do
I think
6,
I
a
think it would be
deluxe,
I think it'd
and a
be funnier
multi-pack.
if we still try to do 10, just to show
Okay.
how in depth we're going to be going for this stuff.
Okay. Okay. Because I still want to do 10, but I want to do a multi-pack and a
Mhm.
deluxe.
Oh yeah, so here's my thought. We still do 10 figures. It's
Yep.
just how we break those up is what's going to be different. Like, will it be a multi-pack? Will you have a deluxe? Will you have
Okay. I like that. I like that. Yeah. 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 10
so
total.
yeah,
That works.
10 total figures that we want.
Yep.
How it comes out is we're not trying to do, because I know how sometimes I'll do like, well, but this way they could do it that, I'll try and build in reuse for it too. But if we just do, we're doing 10 figures, how it comes out is how it comes out. Like if you want 10 versions of Juggernaut, then you do you. So I have no more final thoughts, and I know if I ask you if you have final thoughts, we'll keep going. So folks, you know where to find us. It's in the show notes. Let us know what you're interested in terms of Marvel Legends coming out. Is there anything that flips your switch? I don't know how you want to say that without coming off weird.
We'll see what we're going to do for next time. It doesn't have to be next week, is our list. We can do it by the end of the year.
I know it's a busy time coming up, so we're probably going to end up
Let's
figuring
make
out.
it okay. Let's see. Next week is the week of the 14th, which is Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
Let's do it for the week of the 21st if you can go with it, because
Yeah.
that way we can make it like, what do we want Santa to bring us?
Yeah, because that'll come out on the 22nd. Yep.
Yeah. And don't go saying Santa's not real. NORAD tracks him every year.
I'm with you on that.
All right.
If
I'll talk
if
to you later,
if
though.
if NORAD doesn't track it, then it can't. It's got to be real.
He's totally real. I mean, they have missiles, for Christ's sake. You think
Exactly.
they're going to waste their time on tracking a fictitious person? Come on.
Yeah. Why would they do that?
Yeah.
All right. On that note, folks, you know where to find us, and if this sounded hectic, it's because of holidays.
The holidays.
Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.